Hello and welcome to a whole new episode of The Week Gone By. I am Anindo and I will bring you all the news and updates from the last week that made the headlines. Now on one hand, Raymond Davis was released after nearly 1.5 months, and on the other hand, the UP government in India again came under fire. And this time it was for the cash for vote scam. Now, after nearly 1.5 months, it was finally a sigh of relief for CIA contractor Raymond Davis. Davis was released from detention after around $2 million was reportedly paid to the families of the two men allegedly shot and killed by him on January 27 this year. Raymond Davis's acquittal came when relatives of the dead men pardoned him in court. They confirmed to the judge overseeing the case that they had received compensation known as blood money. Under Pakistani law, relatives of a murder victim can pardon the killer after accepting compensation. This payment of money to the families of victims in crimes for securing acquittals for the accused has significant legal precedent in Pakistan, and it is a custom loosely translated as paying blood money. Since his arrest, United States officials, including President Barack Obama himself, have repeatedly called for Davis's release and have argued that he carried a diplomatic passport and was under the protection of diplomatic immunity. But however, after the release of Davis, it was later in the week that thousands of people took to the streets across Pakistan to protest against the release of the CIA contractor. Some 3,000 people rallied outside Islamabad's Red Mosque against the release of United States national Raymond Davis. More than 1,500 people also rallied in the eastern cultural hub of Lahore, including demonstrators from Jamaat-e-Islami Party, Jamaat-ut-Dawa, and from the party headed by cricket hero turned politician Imran Khan. The Supreme Court was also requested on Thursday to declare that the additional district and sessions judge who freed CIA contractor Raymond Davis had acted without jurisdiction because the matter did not fall within his domain. But Federal Minister for Information and Broadcasting of Pakistan, Dr. Firdaus Ashiq Awan, said that Raymond Davis's release after the payment of blood money was absolutely in accordance with the Shariat law of Pakistan. Some media reports only claimed that the Obama administration had paid more than $2 million in blood money to the victims' families to get him out. But the White House refused to confirm the payment. Even United States Secretary of State Hillary Clinton did not make any reference to the blood money and instead said that the families of the victims of the January 27th incident pardoned Mr. Davis and that they are very grateful for their decision. Now, it was on March 11th that an 8.9 magnitude earthquake off the coast of northeast Japan spawned a ferocious tsunami that caused massive destruction, flattening whole towns, starting raging fires and killing thousands of people. The Japanese people paused at the 1-week mark following the monster earthquake and ensuing tsunami as the death toll reportedly continued its steady climb to 6,911. Another 10,316 people still remain missing. But it was the explosions at the Fukushima nuclear plant that brought back the horrific memories of the time when the two Japanese cities were flattened by atomic bombs. It is 12th March, a day after the 8.9 magnitude earthquake struck northeast Japan. The Japanese government orders the evacuation of residents living close to the Fukushima No. 1 nuclear power plant as an explosion occurs in a building housing one of the plant's reactors. Japan, on the other hand, mobilizes some 1 lakh military and other rescue personnel as aid starts pouring in from around the world, including from the United States military stationed in Japan. March 14th, and a second explosion occurs at the stricken Fukushima nuclear power station. Meanwhile, rescuers say that they have found 2,000 bodies in Miyagi Prefecture, as the United Nations Humanitarian Agency reports that 1.4 million Japanese are without running water and more than 500,000 have been evacuated. Next day, 2 more blasts and a fire rocked the Fukushima plant, and radiation levels around the facility reach dangerous levels. Officials even say that higher than normal radiation levels were detected in Tokyo. It is Wednesday and a new fire erupts at the troubled Fukushima plant. Workers are briefly evacuated as a tall white cloud is seen billowing into the sky over the complex. Meanwhile, the official number of dead and missing surpasses 11,000. Next day, the official number of dead and missing reaches as high as 14,650. Foreign governments urge their citizens to leave Tokyo, and United States State Department authorizes the voluntary departure of the United States Embassy family members. On the other hand, Chinook helicopters dumped tons of water in a desperate effort to cool overheating nuclear reactors. It is Friday the 18th, and a week has passed, and Japan raises the accident level at the stricken nuclear plant from 4 to 5 on a 7-point international danger scale for atomic accidents. But even in this time of crisis, it was Prime Minister Narendra Khan who sought to reassure a nation reeling from disaster and said that he is committed to taking firm control of a grave situation. Now, WikiLeaks was back to haunt another South Asian government, and this time it was India. Now, a leaked United States diplomatic cable suggested that India's ruling Congress party had offered bribes to win a crucial confidence vote in the parliament on the US-India nuclear deal in 2008. The whistleblowing website made public a US embassy cable that allegedly reveals details about the government's efforts to secure support in parliament for the nuclear deal through bribes. The cable contains conversations between a senior Congress party leader Satish Sharma and a then US embassy official, and it dates back to July 17, 2008. The leak also states that Rashtriya Lok Dal paid about $2.5 million for each of their 4 MPs to support the government. Now, following this revelation by the WikiLeaks, the opposition launched a ferocious new assault against the government and alleged that it has been functioning in a continuum of corruption. But those who have been cast in the cable have denied its claims, and the government struck a defiant pose.
Honourable members raised allegations based on reports in a newspaper of what purport to be cables from the US Embassy in New Delhi to their authorities in Washington. The Government of India cannot confirm the veracity, contents, or even the existence of such communication. I may point out.
Now, responding to the opposition demand in Parliament, Prime Minister Manmohan Singh finally gave a statement on the WikiLeaks controversy. Strongly rejecting allegations of bribery during the 2008 trust vote, Singh said that nobody from the Congress or the government had engaged in any unlawful act, and he further described the charges as unverified and speculative.
In an open vote that was taken on the floor of the House, government won the confidence of the Lok Sabha.
But however, the BJP said that it will move a privilege motion against Prime Minister Manmohan Singh for misleading the parliament. It was at a joint press conference that leader of the opposition in Lok Sabha, Sushma Swaraj, and her Rajya Sabha counterpart Arun Jaitley alleged that it has now been conclusively established that MPs were bribed to win the confidence vote.
हम लोगों ने तय किया है कि जो कमेटी की जो रिपोर्ट है उससे बिल्कुल अलग तथ्य प्रधानमंत्री ने सदन में कहे.
And while politics heated up on this issue, the United States Embassy in New Delhi refused to comment on the publication of its leaked diplomatic cables in the media. Now, it was during the last week that the Bangladeshi Appellate Division adjourned the hearing on the petition filed by Muhammad Yunus for 3 weeks. Now, earlier on March 9th, Yunus had filed a petition with the Supreme Court seeking a stay order on the High Court judgment upholding his dismissal as the Grameen Bank Managing Director. Meanwhile, 26 congressmen of the United States urged Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to resolve the issue of removal of Professor Yunus mutually to ensure the independence of the Grameen Bank. A letter to the Prime Minister signed by 26 members of the Congressional Caucus of Bangladesh said that they are troubled by Yunus's removal from his position at the Grameen Bank. Moreover, United States Ambassador to Bangladesh in Dhaka, James F. Moriarty, also reiterated his concerns over Professor Yunus's removal from the Grameen Bank. But he did add that the United States has no role to play in the issue. But however, Awami League Joint General Secretary Mahabubu ul Alam Hanif urged the civil society not to take stance against the state by siding with Muhammad Yunus. Moreover, Prime Minister Jannath Khanal said last week that he is willing to resign from the post provided that he fails to allocate the Ministry of Home Affairs portfolio to the UCP and Maoists as per the agreement forged earlier. Prime Minister Khanal in the CPN-UML Standing Committee claimed that he is not interested in holding on to the post if he fails to keep his word. And meanwhile, Prime Minister Jannath Khanal gave additional portfolios to 3 UML ministers, and as per the new arrangement, Finance Minister and Deputy Prime Minister Bharat Mohan Adhikari will also oversee energy, irrigation, commerce and supply ministries. Defence Minister Bishnu Podel will look after general administration, forest and soil conservation and environment ministries. Likewise, Education Minister Gangalal Tuladar has been given 3 more ministries, namely Local Development, Science and Technology and Constitution Assembly and Parliamentary Affairs and Culture. And moreover, denying the arguments of certain sectors, Finance Secretary Dr. P.B. Jayasundara has argued that the country's economy would not be subject to a tsunami-type situation and collapse by the time of the Sinhala and Tamil New Year that falls in April. Now, while speaking to the national media, he called the arguments illogical and defended by pointing out that Sri Lankan economy is in an extremely strong position. He also pointed out that the per capita income in the country has come near the $2,400 target. Now, Sri Lankan delegation has also asked the United Nations Human Rights Council to allow the domestic process of accountability without international interventions. Head of Sri Lankan missions in the United Nations, Shenuka Senaviratne, has said that it would be constructive to desist from this repetitive refrain on accountability and provide the required time and space for the domestic process already underway. Now, the LLRC has been established under the Commission of Inquiry Act. The Act empowers the Attorney General to institute criminal proceedings based on the material collected during the course of the investigation by the Commission. And time to wrap up this edition of the Week Gone By here. I will be back next week again with more news and updates from across South Asia. Till then, goodbye and keep watching TV South Asia.